Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to Friday night is Organ Music Night. Sorry for the late start, the PC, I haven't touched it all week, and when I switched it on it started doing all its updates, which takes forever. So I do apologise about that. But here we are, we're back. It's Friday night, it's Organ Music Night and all the fun of the Friday fair, as it was. Yes, so just to get the ball rolling this evening, that was a hymn and an improvisation on a hymn, and yes, who got it right? Opus 3 got it right, number 365 in the hymn book. Meine Hoffnung und meine Freude, my hope and my joy. It's a cup of tea tonight, by the way. It's a Taizé hymn. And normally Taizé hymns are done in a very very gentle and sedate and politically correct manner. Well, none of those things apply to me, so full organ is the only way to do that. Now, welcome back, Friday night. Tonight we're going to do something that we did a few weeks ago, and it went down very, very well indeed. And what I thought I would do, actually, I thought I would ask you, I'm going to ask you in a poll or a question, a Q&A or whatever you call it. Oh, for heaven's sake, hold on, where's my bloody cursor gone? There it is. I've got so many different desktops open on my laptop here, it's impossible to know what to do. Right, shall we do a question? No, let's do a poll. I think we'll do a poll. Right. And you're all going to answer this for me. What shall we? I don't know actually. You see, this is the thing. I could be open to everybody and open to anything. I suppose we could do. Actually, could we? Would that be? That might work. Would that work? You know what? I'm just going to put it in there. It's not. I hope you don't vote for that one. Actually, I hope you don't vote for either of them so far. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put out a poll into the chat. So if you're live in the chat, then you go and vote on that. We'll give it 5 minutes, all right? And during those 5 minutes, I will. Oh my goodness me! Yes, I kind of shot myself in the foot when I decided to say this. I think I'm probably going to regret this. My 4-score program has crashed, which is most annoying. Why has it crashed? No, this is not a good start, is it? We polled a recent studio audience and most of them said, ouch, don't do that. Yes, well. Okay, my 4-score program, my dot reading program has crashed, which is not a good sign. There we are, that looks better. We shall see. Oh, good. That's good. We're going down. We're going down. Down is always good in the numbers. I'm just going to get something ready just in case you all vote for that. And we shall see what pops up. Right. Yes. A few weeks ago, I did one of these watch me learn a new piece of music videos. And it went down surprisingly well. Now, I didn't actually then go and perform the piece of music in question. I should have done, really. And but the idea was, you know, how do you go about practicing things, and how do you go about working on these things? And there are various ways of working on pieces of music. Some of you are, of course, musicians yourselves. Maybe some of you are professional musicians. Maybe some of you are excited hobby musicians. Maybe some of you are beginner musicians. And I always think it's nice just to let you guys have a little sort of look into how I go about learning stuff, because, you know, I've been doing this all my life. And, you know, I have my own way of learning music. I'm quite lucky in that I can kind of sight read most things. I didn't used to be able to. Sight reading came with age, believe it or not. When I was younger, I couldn't sight read for toffee. But now, you know, I can kind of sight read most things to a certain degree. And that definitely helps because, of course, it's all about these things, yeah, and these things down here, feet and what's it called? Feet and hands. That's the one, and so on and so on and so on. Oh, right. What's winning at the moment then? Let's have a little look here. Something jazzy is currently winning, which is nice. Oh well, that's good. Oh, good. Right. Nothing by Durufle. That's definitely not winning. Okay, that would be the hardest. That would be the hardest. Musically, not necessarily technically, but musically. Something fiery by Vierne, that would be good fun. Something impossible by Bach, that would be, when I say impossible, impossible for me. There are people out there who love sight reading Bach and learning Bach and you can play it beautifully. And I can't. I've never been able to, and it's never going to be on my agenda. But anyway, that's fine. And then something jazzy you came up with. People are coming up with something jazzy so far. Well, that's the easiest for me. So, you know, that's my comfort zone. If you want to put me out of my comfort zone, then it has to be one of the other things. I'll let you into a little clue here. Something jazzy would be very easy for me and probably quite entertaining for you. Something fiery by Vierne would be a well-known sort of toccata style piece by Vierne that everybody might recognize if you're into the organ music world, and that would be good fun to play through. Something yummy by Durufle. Well, there's a hidden agenda behind something yummy by Durufle. In fact, there are two hidden agenda behind that, but more on that at another time. And then the impossible by Bach. That's just because you would be torturing me. That would be sadism on your part. While we're waiting for that to go then, we'll give it another few minutes and I will play another hymn. Why not Vierne? Well, I don't know. You're voting, not me. You're the ones voting. I'm not doing any voting. I'm just going to wait. We're doing it incredibly democratically this evening, which is not the normal way I work, but it's up to you. The thing is, with organ music, everyone sees the name Bach and just jumps on it without thinking about it. I'm going to play another improvisation on a hymn tune, and by the time I finish this, I'm not even going to look at that. I can't see it on this iPad here, but we shall see. I'll be back in a minute. Here's a piece of music you all know and hopefully love. You rotten swines. How dare you? Right, I'm going to end the poll there. It says Something Impossible by Bach. Damn it. Well, that's good because that means anything. So we'll come back to that again. That was, of course, the Day Thou Gavest, a lovely piece of music. And I only it's in either F major or A flat major, depending what hymn book you're in. Sometimes you find it in G major. So I played it in all three of those keys, but only once. The rest of the time I played it in A major, which is very rare for me to play anything in A major. But when you do things in A major, it means you can do this at the end. Isn't that a gorgeous sound? And with a 32-foot rumbling away in the bass there. Oh, check that out. This chord is just lovely though. Great thing is you can't see my hands doing what it is. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeousness. The final chorale from Bach's St. Matthew Passion. Well, that's not a piece of organ music, is it? No, we're going to do organ music, and it just so happens that on my iPad I have the complete organ works of J.S. Bach, and I don't know. I did think about this earlier, and I thought, well, here's what I was going to play, all right? If you had voted for, we'll come back to that in a second. If you had voted for, Du Rouflet, I would have played this for you. You're going to kick yourselves. I would have played this for you. Let me just quickly get rid of some 4-foots here. Let me add some more 8-foots, and you'd have had this. It's the most beautiful piece of organ music ever. And so on and so on and so on. So I would have done that for you. That was sight reading, by the way. I would have done that for you. That would have been that. If you had chosen Vierne, we could have chosen between... What could we have had from Vierne? We could have had... why don't... Oh, I don't have Symphony Number 1 here by Vierne. Oh, hold on. Yes, I do. There they are. You could have had the finale to Symphony Number 1 from Vierne, which is, of course, that famous toccata-y style thing. There it is, which is just absolutely gloriously wonderful. You could have had this. You could have had this. We need lots of big organ here. So the manuals are going... You could have had that, yeah, with its wonderful melody in the pedals. And one of the most amazing ends of any piece of organ music. There's a gorgeous bit where he really goes to town. Where is it? Ya da da dee da. This bit here where he just absolutely goes bonkers. You could have had all of that. Anyway, that would have been good fun because I haven't played that for 100 years, so that would have been practicing again. You could have had this. Westminster, you could have had that. We might even have had... The final of Vian's sixth movement, which is an incredibly fun, incredibly difficult piece of music to play with lots of scales and the pedals. That would have been good. But you didn't want that. If it was going to be something jazzy, I would have had this. Now hold on, I need to find this for you. If you'd gone for jazzy, we'd have had this. I'd have taken Richard Rodgers' Slaughter on 10th Avenue. I would have taken that and showed you how to arrange that for organ and big band style. That would have been the jazzy number. That would have been good fun. But nope, you decided to taunt me with your Bach. So let's go back and find something by Bach. Do we want something happy by Bach, or do we want something... Yeah, we want something happy by Bach, don't we? We definitely want something happy by Bach. So let's go into this, and let's dig forwards. Actually, that should be roughly about it. It's the right key, but not the right piece, is it? No. There we are. Happy Bach. Happy Bach is. Yeah, let's have this. Now this is this is a piece I've never actually bothered learning, all right? But it's a piece I have played on the channel before, but like I say, I've never bothered learning it, which is cheating. I've always just sight read it badly. And I think it's time to learn it properly for a change. It's the Prelude in G, 541. 541. Let me turn on the pedals, because the pedals are quite important in this piece of music. All right, now it's a happy piece of music. It's for, you know, it's a happy piece of Bach music. So let's start by getting the organ ready for this. Now what I want to do here, I'm going to start with the pedal, believe it or not. We want a sort of a reedy sound in the pedals, but we want a nice, do we have a mixture on this organ in the pedals? No, we don't. We're on Billerbeck tonight, by the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the swell, and I'm going to couple that. I'm going to couple that down to the pedals, all right? So that's the pedal part. Yeah, and that's got a nice sort of big sound to it. I'm not going to go overboard. So what I've got there, I've got the principal bass, 16 foot, so that's the open bass, as it were, 16 foot. I've got an octave bass, 8 foot, and a chorale bass, 4 foot, the fagot, the bassoon, 16 foot, and then I've got the 8, 4, 2 and mixture up on the swell, coupled down to get that. So it's a small principal chorus there, but coupled down there, and that's a nice sort of bouncy bass, which we're going to need for the rest of this. Now we need a bright chorus here. Now this is where a lot of, if there are any purists in the audience, I suggest you go out and have a smoke at this point, because you're not going to like this. A lot of purists, even for this piece of music, would say, oh, it needs a 16 foot. I do not believe there should be a 16 foot in the manuals of this piece. I think we should have principal. So an open diapason, or the big open diapason. A principal 4 foot, an octave 2 foot, a quint 2 2/3. Now we have various mixtures here. We have a major mixture and a minor mixture. What about both of the mixtures? Ah, that's a nice Baroque sound. Let's have that. Now, what I can do, however, let me just check out these mixtures. It's quite a low mixture. It's a very high mixture. That's quite a... Oh. Oh, I prefer that. So let's have that mixture and that. What I'm actually going to do... That's better. Let's have that. What sample set? This is Billerbeck, Sir Toby. This is Billerbeck. Right, so this is a joyful piece of music by Bach. It's a happy, summery piece of music. It would be, if this was a glass of wine, it would be a Pinot Bianco, okay? Light and fluffy and exciting and just, happy. Makes you zesty, that kind of thing, all right? It starts with a big fanfare. Okay, an octave leap. It's in the key of G, obviously. And then we have a sort of, it's like a solo violin feature, although it's not a violin feature because it goes all the way down. All the way down here. It's a very sort of toccata-y start. And then that sort of goes on. Now there was a few fluffs in there, so we have to break this up. What's going on here? There are rhythmic features in here that we can play with, that not many people do play with. A lot of people just go. Just play it straight through like that. It's not bad, actually. It has a certain something to it, but it's not very sort of typical of the day. There are various low points and high points, all right? So, pop, 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 pop. That's actually the highest note of the entire fanfare. Sounds a bit like a sailor's hornpipe. We'll be coming to that in a moment, Tim. It does a bit, doesn't it? And it starts the flourish up to that note, and the whole thing ends on that note as well, all right? So there's a flourish to and from that note, if you understand what I mean. The lowest note is the lowest D on the manuals, and the highest note was that, well, on a Baroque organ, the highest G. Most Baroque organs only go to F, all right? If even that, some only go to D, but yes, that would work perfectly. Now, later in the piece, it does go higher than that, I think. Yes, it does. It goes higher than that there. It goes up to a B. Does it go higher than a B? Does it go higher than a B? Does it go higher than a B? Any advance on a B? Any advance on a B? It goes to a C. It goes to a high C at one point. That's the highest note of the whole piece. Only goes there once, as far as I can tell. We'll spot that on the way past and see if that's actually true. Oh no, there's a few C's there as well. There's a car stopped in the middle of the street out there. What's he doing? Very mysterious. Anyway, right. So that's that. So we have a flourish. Now, what happens at the end of the flourish? Well, actually, no. Let's talk about the flourish a little more. Rhythmic features. Yes, I wanted to talk about rhythmic features. We have lots of broken arpeggios. What's a broken arpeggio? Well, or a broken chord. That's an arpeggio. That's a chord. Same notes, broken together. Okay, so there's lots of this. Here's another one. Okay. There's another one. Now here. That's a chord. That's another chord. Ooh, that's a big chord. Bach had big hands, so he could have done that with the one hand. He probably could have done that with one hand as well. So you get the idea. There's lots of these broken chords, and if you listen carefully, there's a kind of a cross rhythm coming in here. Even that, do we ta 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 ta, or do we ya da da da? How do we get up there? Do we staccato it, or do we? How do we interpret that? I like the pop up. What do you prefer, staccato or legato? That's the kind of note we head to. We've got, that wants to go somewhere, but it carries on. Change of harmony. Back to the original harmony. All G major. Now, at this point here, this flourish back up here, it's written in 16th notes, semiquavers, all right? And there are 3 beats in a bar. It's a 3/4, 3/4 bar measure, time signature, whatever you want to call it. And so we've got pa 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 pi ta 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 1 1. Okay, but we're not playing it like that. We're not stressing those beats. We're stressing the end points of That's a new harmony, so we're stressing that, you understand? Oh, are we stressing that? We've got there's a little movement, and that only appears at 3 times. Should we stress that? We probably should, shouldn't we? And then we're off to, this is all G major from this point. So, oh my pedal stuff has disappeared. Well, let's have that back. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. All right. There we are, that's it. After that, we have all these G major arpeggios. Now, where's the beat in this? Can you hear a beat in this? Is there something we can amend? Something we can interpret that makes it sound a bit more exciting? How about if we, every time we get to the G, if we sort of accentuate that a little bit, and now we're adding cross rhythms because they are at all different places in the bar. Would that make sense? Now, when we get down to the bottom note, we have a sort of a triplety thing happen here. Now, all the notes are still 16th notes, but we've got and up until that point, we've had groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea? Groups of, but here we have groups of 3. So should we add some nice funky cross rhythms in there? Now we're not changing the beat, we're just changing the emphasis within the beat. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can do that. Ha ha! And that's sort of rushing us towards that top note again, where suddenly everything joins in, and we have, do we have a theme? Well, we don't, but what we have lots of movement going on. Now, I can't show you a picture of the score, I wish I could, so I'll have to show you what's going on. When we get to this point here, we have a held note, and under that note we have some chords. Okay, and those chords, we have those chords all the time. If you listen carefully, so we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3, and then in the next bars we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and that continues 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and this is all movement going on in the background. What's that? Okay, now and then there's lots of just that come next. I'm going to rush through this and show you what's going on in the background, because the main part is hidden somewhere else. So then we have lots of just chords, but with a little bit of movement in the inner voices. Listen carefully. Okay, now there's movement going on there, so it's not just G major chords. Now the question there is, do we emphasize those movements or do we just play them as part of the chords? I have heard recordings where people literally play those as legato movements. Imagine these aren't chords played by an organist, these are notes played by individual instrumentalists in an orchestra. Okay, get the idea? It should have been that. So at the end there should be an A in there. Should that be emphasized? We'll come to that when we add the other bits. So be aware of that going on, all right? So once we get to this thing, we've got... Okay, now there's lots of movement going on around those chords. You probably heard that there, but most of the movement is down in the old foots. And lots of movement here. Bum bum bumpy, we are going on to this note here. All right, so there's lots of stuff for the pedals to do there. And there's different style of pedal stuff here. Now, those are the notes of the C major scale. G major scale. All right, so how are we going to... Traditionalists would of course pedal it with toes only. Don't use your heels for anything. And that is the safest way to do it. French organists would go... Oops, they'd get that right though. Yeah, they'd heel and toe their way down. They'd dance their way down, shuffle their way down. In a legato style, but we're not doing that here. Now, unfortunately, that's not all that's going on. So it's not just this. There you are, you could hear it there. There's the chords and something happening together with the pedals to make the technical part of it rather difficult. Opus 3, Peters Ausgabe. No, Bärenreiter Urtext. Always Bärenreiter Urtext. Band 5, book number 5. Now, at this point here, so the left hand has a little melody. and then those chords. Da 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 dum. If you imagine that, yes, that's mirrored 2 bars later in the right hand. Da 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 dum. Oh, so we need to emphasize that. Da 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 dum. Problem is, the pedals are doing something similar, so you have to practice that. Left hand and pedals is always going to be your Achilles heel. I'm left-handed, and it makes no difference. Okay, now I'm playing that note there because I'm actually going to play the whole chord with my left hand, okay? And then this is easy because here, okay, that then becomes slightly more difficult there. So there's a couple of things that need to be practiced. Hands on their own. Oops, let's get that correct later. Dum 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 pa ta ta ti ta 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 ti ta tum ti ta ta ti ta ta ti 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 ta ti ta 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 ta. Lots of things going on there that need to be held or not held. The left hand. Now, we've got 3 beats in a bar. We're definitely in 3 beats in a bar here. Now, there's no funny cross rhythms happening anymore. We're in a sort of dancey 3 beats in a bar. Which means the first beat of the bar is emphasized. The second beat of the bar is slightly lighter. So we've got heavy, light. Heavy, sorry, get the notes right. Heavy, light. Heavy, light. If you're on a piano, you could go into the note and then out of the note. Yeah, we're not on a piano though, so we have to do that with length on an organ. Let's add all of that together, just those first 2 bars there. Okay, that worked. Let's do it again. That sound all right? Did that sound crisp enough? I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to do something about that. That's better. Now, at this point in the next bar, so far we've had 4 bars that are kind of the same, all right? The melody moved from the left hand to the right hand, all the time being mirrored by the pedals. Now, the next bit that comes is this. Okay, now if I play alternate feet, right, left, right, the heavy notes are on my left foot. Okay, now that makes it easier to coordinate. So we've got 1, oh, sorry. Okay, now there's lots of notes in the hands and I have to work out which hand we need to have them in. So the right hand has chords. Now at this point, the left hand actually shares that note G. So do I play it with both hands? Of course not, but the left hand continues playing that G, the right hand moves up. So now, in this next bar, my right hand goes do da 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 da. I think it then goes do da 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 da. All right. However, there are other notes going on underneath that, written on the same stave, and it's kind of difficult to know where to put them. So am I going to put it all in the left hand, or can I do some of it in the right hand as well? What's written is this. Now that's obviously too much to do in one hand, and it's far too far to far too far to stretch. So I think what we'll have to do here is yeah, that's right. I think I can get away because yeah, I'll have to do it all in one hand then this one. So all of that can be taken care of with the left hand. So let's have a look at the left hand. We have to work out how to do this then. So dum ti 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 ta 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 tum ti 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 da 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 dum. All right, now you hear me singing along with myself as well. This is something I do to work out where the hell there's a melody. Even in Bach. Da, dim, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Now that note is not there. It doesn't exist, which is most annoying because it should, but it doesn't. My brain tells me it should. Dee, da, 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 da. There's another note there. Or is that, it might be an editing mistake. We never know. Because there it is there. And it ends there. So all of that kind of movement needs to be emphasized, I would say. Wouldn't you agree? Let's just do the left hand from here with the pedals. All right, now the left hand and the pedals, that's quite homophonic, which means a bass line, pedals, and an accompaniment, left hand. And all the while the right hand is doing now, can you hear the movement, the hidden movement in there? Turn page, you swine thing. Come on. Why is it not turning pages for me? There it is. Okay, so there's little hidden movement in there, and that kind of ties in with this. Yeah. There's lots of yabby dabby dab going on there, but it kind of all ties in together. Is that useful? Hands together, hands across the sea. Oh, how do I get there? I don't is the simple answer. I keep that in the right hand. Yeah, I can hear that now. I can hear what's going on. Can you hear what's going on? I can hear what's going on. I hope you can hear what's going on. Can you hear what's going on? I can kind of hear what's going on. I can repeat myself for days on end. And this is what practicing is all about. Now I've gotten to the point where it's quite difficult. Practice begins. Up to this point, I've just been searching. And my fingers, I've been doing this for, almost 50 years now. So my fingers kind of know what they're doing. It's G major. So they know what G major feels like, yeah? And so do my feet, theoretically. So now is the point where I have to start practicing. How do I practice? Well, what I don't do is start in bar 1, and keep playing until I make a mistake and then correct the mistake and then go back to the beginning. No, I work in little chunks. So like I said, we started at the beginning, we looked at the fanfare, I mucked about with that for a bit. Then we looked at the next 2 bars. Remember these bars? Didn't like that. Heavy, light. That's better. Okay, now this is the part we haven't practiced yet. So I practiced those 4 bars, and were they correct? Not quite, so let's do them again. That's better. That's better. Now I'm happy with that now. That feels good under the fingers and feet. And that's the whole point, all right? Muscle memory. I have already memorized that. All right, that's good. Can I play it blind? Not quite, but that's the way it should be done, all right? I was lucky over the years. I had a blind teacher and he taught me to play everything blind. Simple as that. If you can play things blind, then your fingers and feet know what they're doing, yeah? Let's do it again. Just by feeling where the notes are. Where's the G sharp? There it is. Let's do that again. Now, I know what's coming next. It's so left hand and pedals have already been memorized and blindly learnt. So that's good. All I need to do is get the rest of it in. So let's do the right hand and pedals. There's only 1 note in the left hand, so I might as well add it in. Ah, that doesn't feel quite as good. That was wrong at the end as well. So why am I feeling this, all right? Can you hear the technique? I'm stamping on the pedals there. I'm forcing my muscles to memorize what's going on. Not right. So the next bit that's coming up isn't right. I've got something in my head that I've heard in a recording and I think I know what's coming and I'm just improvising and mucking around and making up the next bit. Wrong. I have to stop that, so I have to correct myself. This is the difficult bit, and this is why when you're learning a piece of music you must be very strict with yourself. Don't let anything slip through. What happens is you learn the piece with the errors and those errors become normal. And you memorize the errors, you memorize the wrong notes, the added notes, the fluffs, whatever you want. You memorize them, and then it's difficult to erase them again. So try to catch them before they land in your memory. So this, I don't already have this. I know that's coming next. And that's not what's coming next. What does come there? What comes there? Ah. All right, so most of the work is actually in the left hand at this point, all right? So I'm trying to get my left hand to learn to do Is that right? It is. Good. All right, let's do that again. Actually, I know what we'll do. Let's do it like that. So, I don't know if you caught what I was doing there. I've split it up into dee da da dee dum. All right, so we've got that dee da 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 dum, and then we've got 3 notes on their own da da dum. Then we've got more melody da da dum, and then we've got 3 notes on their own da 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 dum, and then another one da 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 dum. All right. So if I split it up like that in my head, because the pedal's doing it too, that makes sense. Dee dee da da dum da da dum dee da dum da da dum da 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 dum. Is that right? It is. Good. All right. So that's the left hand then. So let's have left hand and pedal from here again. That's the bit that I forget. Nah, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. Damn it. I want it to do that, but it doesn't do that. It goes dee da. So the middle part goes dee da da dum. Okay. Oh, by the way, a lot of people when they practice, I don't have anything to say. Hold on, let me quickly save something here. Registration, save as, I'll call this 541 and we'll click boom. All right, there we are, saved. Save it. A lot of people would say, when you're practicing, 1 8-foot stop is more than enough. Well, rubbish. What a load of rubbish. Who is going to play it like this? Problem is, if you practice like that, and then we have, I'm going to couple that to the pedals. No, on the pedals, I'm going to have another 8-foot stop. On the pedals with 1 very soft 16-foot stop. It doesn't do that. It sounds quite cute, but if I learn it like that, and then I go back to this, where's my registration that I saved? I saved registrations, where are they? Oh bugger, that didn't work. All right, I saved registrations and it didn't work. What did I have? What did I have? I had that, I had that, I had that, I had that, that. I think I had that. I had that, that, and that, and that, and that. Almost right up to there already. That's not bad. It's pretty much memorized here as well. Okay, okay. It's not perfect, but that's what you practice for. You literally spend hours practicing just the things you need to practice. Okay, don't practice bits you don't need to practice. For example, let me quickly turn off this automatic page turning. For some reason, it's very sensitive tonight. What don't I need to practice? I don't know, we'll find something at some point. But there are various points you don't need to practice. And don't worry about that. Your brain will just work around that. Practice the bits you need to practice. But yes, why should I practice on proper registrations? Well, if you're going to perform it in a concert, if you're going to perform it in church, if you're going to perform it at home on your Hauptwerk installation, then why wouldn't you rehearse the way you're going to perform it? Admittedly, if you're playing let's say you're playing something very, 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 very technical, all right? Let's say, all right? if you're going to play your, you know, Vierne kind of stuff, and there's lots of music, there's lots of notes, millions of notes happening, then it can be quite tiring on the ears if you're repetitively going over 2 bars all the time on full registration. That can be very repetitive. So yes, cut down a bit of registration. But all this, oh, practice everything on 1 stop. What a load of rubbish. Never understood why people want to do that. I think it's just basically they don't want the noise. But if you're gonna, if you practice everything very softly, and then suddenly one day you think, right, here we go, full organ, let's go, ba 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 ba, oh God, that's loud. You get worried by it, and then you start adding mistakes because you're nervous. Don't be nervous when you're playing. Certainly don't be nervous when you're practicing. All right, so far so good. Let's move on. Now we've got more of this stuff in the pedal now, but this time before we had alternative notes, both of them moving down, dum dim dum dim dum dim dum dim dum dim dum dim dum. Yeah, but now we only have the left foot moving. All right, so the right foot stays up here. Okay, and the left foot. Now that's a big leap. All right. So why don't I just do dee-da-dee at that point with my right foot? So, and that gives me time to get from, even without looking. So I'm leaping up this octave, okay? Rather than going in no time at all. Haha, that makes perfect sense. Now here, I can just do that because it's not so far. But yeah, that's easy enough now. Okay, so while all of that is going on, remember what we were doing in the hands at this point? We have the chords with the little notes, the little movements. All right, so here we go. Let's try this then. Shall we run into it? Run into it with the left hand. Okay, so I have to think about that. This is where shoes would be useful because you'd have a bit of a heel on your shoes for that note, but never mind. Okay, so okay, those 3 bars I played at the end there, that's an example of something you don't need to practice, all right? It just, everything fits under the fingers, you don't need to practice. But this bit, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. I spoke too soon. That's it. Okay, that's easy enough, that bit that's coming there, that's fine. Now, I'm trying to work out if there's some logical movement going on in the hands to what's going on in the foots, but I don't think there is. I think it's just there. I don't think there's anything that really needs to be overemphasized at that point. the harmony and the movement will do it for me. Will it? Let's try it again. I was concentrating on the hands so much, my feet forgot what they were doing. So what am I going to concentrate on during this thing? Oh, my feet are doing the most... They're doing most of the work, aren't they? So do I concentrate on them? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to concentrate on my left foot, because it's doing all the work, and then my left hand, because it seems to have the movement going on. So left hand, left foot. That's what I'm going to concentrate on here. And that worked. Okay, so left hand, left foot gets the concentration, and then everything else slips into place. Let's one more time. My concentration slipped. What happened? I don't know. I started thinking about broccoli or cups of tea or I don't know. What do 53-year-old men think about when they're trying to play Bach? Not good, not good, not good, not good, not good. Let me try it blind so I can hear what I'm doing. That seemed to work. Let's leave it at that. Let's move. We have to move on because I want to get through the whole thing. Now we have scales. Now, when I was a little boy learning to play the organ in Inverness Cathedral, that was at a time when everyone in the United Kingdom played Bach from novello editions, and it was all legato. So. There would have been lots of left, right, all this kind of stuff. All that kind of crap, all right? But nowadays, we know differently. We know that organs of those times didn't really allow legato as much. They were hand-pumped machines. And some poor sod would be standing there holding onto a bar, stepping like mad to get some wind so that Bach could show off his new organ. So you can play detached like that, and it doesn't really matter what foot you use. As long as it's comfortable. So what's happening here? The left hand is doing this, scales. No, it's a D at the end, sorry. Bum, bum. It's a D major chord, but I'll just add that for harmony's sake. Where is the chord? Let me see where it is. Is it in the left or the right hand? It's just there. Okay, that's fine. So, what do we have here? How are we going to split that up between the foots? What did I do? You watch what I do and tell me. So left, 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 left until the F sharp here. Dum, 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 dum. Right, 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 left, right. That makes sense. We're at 5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes life easy. So. Easy peasy. What's the right hand doing then? Ooh, there's a lot of movement going on there. Lots of lines. So we've got 2 lines. That's doing that. But the other one is going ti ta 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 ti ta 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 ta. That's a cute little melody on its own, isn't it? Let's do that with the pedals. Oh, that's cute. Let's listen out for that. Let's do the left hand and that. That's kind of cute. Left hand pedals and that. Oh God. It goes up, doesn't it? Left hand buggered that up, didn't it? Keep going in the left hand too. Now that's something you don't hear because you normally only hear. Okay, and that suddenly all makes sense because I split it up and practiced it. Does that make sense? It does. Sounds good, doesn't it? So let's go from... I think that's a natural place to take a tiny little break, don't you? God knows I need one. I don't have anything to drink now. My tea has gone cold, so I won't continue to drink that. Right, let's have a look and see who's in the old audience this evening and say hello to you all, or to most of you, or some of you. Have I saved that? I still didn't bloody save that, idiot. Let me save it quickly before I forget again. That, and that. Save. 541 registration. Save. Right, that's save now. Does that make sense? Yes, there we are. We have it now. Good, right. Let's do this. Who's in this evening? We'll start with Urza. Hello, Urza. Good evening, my dear. How are you? Johannes is here. Johannes 84. Max is here. Julian GC is here. Mike King is here. Gerhard Flink is here. Master Moose Music is here. Good evening to you and to Clovo as well. I hope you are both well. French Horn is... Oh, it's jumped. Sorry. Damn it. Well, let's work backwards then. French Horn is here. Good evening, my friend. Sir Toby, 76, is here. Robert Warner is here. Cam Platz is here. Good evening, Platzcam. Yellowbird is here. Ian Walker is here. Sandra Ross is here. Right, let's move backwards. Opus Dry is here. Gunther Uppolt is here. Hunter Harville Moxley. Hunter Harville Moxley. What a wonderful name that is. Tim is here. Hi, Tim. Wolfgang Ratzka is here. Oh, splendid. Lots of lovely people here tonight. Who else be here? Joe Humans is here tonight. Joe Humans is here tonight. Who else is here tonight then? Let's have a little look. Xing Shang Shong is here tonight. John Drake is here tonight. Gerhard Flink is here. I think I mentioned you already, didn't I? Shred the Weapon is here. Willie Galloway is here from sunny Scotland-on-Sea. Who else is here? Andrew Prince is here. Good for you. There we go. That's good. Right, let's go through the list a little further down and see who else is here. La 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 la. If you're in the chat, there's only 60 odd of you in the chat tonight. That's not too many. Where are you all? Hunter Harville Moxley. That's a wonderful name. Yes. What a wonderful name. There should be a number after that. It should be Hunter Harville Moxley the Third. Maybe it is. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Who else is here then? Who else is here then? David Ross is here. Hi, David. Splendid. Right, is that it? Gosh, you're all very quiet in the chat tonight. You must be taking notes, all of you. Over to the box office. Look, the box office is working this evening. So let's have a quick look and see who's in the box office. Stefan M got the thing rolling earlier this evening. Thank you, Stefan M. Jürgen G was straight in there, number 2. Jerry M was number 3. Joe Humans was number 4. Andrew P was number 5. Wolfgang was number 6. Jan E. Who's Jan E? That's a different Jan. Jan E was number 7. The Platzgang, number 8. Brooks was number 9. Hello, Brooks. And Willie G was number 10 so far. Splendid. Thank you very much indeed. Keep them coming. One of these days we will hit our goal of 30. That would be over half of the people in the chat, or roughly half the people in the chat. And let's have a look and see how many clicks we've got this evening. My goodness, we've already got over almost 500 clicks so far this evening. So 30, 500, yes, that's not a very big percentage. You know what to do. You know what to do. Thank you, everybody. Let's continue with the show. So we have landed in the key of D major. Shall we go from the beginning up to this point and see how much of it has stuck? Turn on the winky blinks so that I can turn pages automatically. This is such a big book, it really doesn't matter. Right, so we start with our flourish, then we have all the fun with the feet. Let me turn the feet back on for you. And let me pull my socks up. I'll ask my digital organ build questions later. Yeah, Toby, ask away. Ask away. Don't forget to put my name in the question so that I see it when it comes round. All right, let's have a go and see how far we got. See if my tiny brain has memorized so far. Almost is the answer. Not bad, not bad. There's a couple of tiny little fluffs there, but I know exactly where those fluffs were. So I could actually take my Apple Pencil and I could mark them, but I know where they are, so I don't need to. Now, what happens here? D major. There's another flourish. So what's happening here? We have a That's Grieg, isn't it? By him and him. No. Ooh, right. Something different's happening. We're taking our ideas from the beginning. And so on and so on. We're taking those ideas and we're taking them to different places. So we've modulated to D major. That was almost right. I want to split that bar up. My hands are telling me to split that bar up differently than I did it before. Why are they telling me to do that? There's no need to do that. Okay. No triplets there, so we're going to stick it to rhythm. And now we've got this sort of thing that we had back at the beginning. Remember that? That's not right, but we have, oh, there's a counter thing going on there, which I'm going to have to split between the hands. How am I going to do that? What happens next? Okay, so that's all going to be in the left hand. So let's do that. That's all in the left hand. And that's all in the feet as well. So we've got ooh. I don't like the fingering there. That's better, that makes more sense. All right, so what's the right hand doing? That makes sense. Can you hear me hitting the keys? All the way down to the key bed. All right? If you're playing a piano, a harpsichord, a keyboard instrument of any sort, and you're learning a piece of music and you sort of lightly touch the keys because you don't want to damage anything. You don't want to hurt the felt under the keys. Well, sod that. Hit the bloody thing. Because your muscles need to memorize what they're doing, yes? Muscles need to memorize everything. And if you lightly sort of hear that, some of the keys didn't sound. I can't do it actually. And you hear that, you're fluffing. Yeah, you're not in the right rhythm. You're not crisp as you should be. That's weird. That's better, that makes sense. All right, so let's add all of that. Let's go from here. Same thing. That's an interesting scale down there, and my fingers just did it naturally, but it doesn't feel natural. My fingers did it naturally, but it doesn't feel natural. Does that make sense? I need to get to there on finger 5, presumably, so. But I've got finger 1 there at the beginning. Yeah, I need to do an extra change in the middle. Funnily enough, my fingers told me to do it automatically. That's all right, that worked. All right, so back to the shin, there's a page turn here. Ooh, I forgot my fingering there. Let's do that again by memory. If you make a mistake, stop. Fluff. Lots of fluff. So we've got diddle-dum pum 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 pum, which is all here, diddle-dum pum 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 pum, diddle-dum pum pum, and then all the way down there. So we've got to get down there for that. Where did I get that from? All right, this is what happens when you try memorizing things and you're not ready. Your brain says, let me add a different note and see what happens. and then you get confused. Sit back, take a breath, start again. Okay, my left hand doesn't like that. There's only one D, it's two Gs. Why don't I just do something different then that makes logical sense rather than musical sense? Why don't I just do that? That makes much more sense. Okay, so all of this looks like the similar kind of stuff, doesn't need practicing. Let's find out. Up to there, no. But there's a lot going on there. Lots of notes. This is something Bach likes doing, and he catches you out by this. Up to now, none of this has happened in this piece of music, but suddenly we've got held notes that build up a big chord, and there must be a reason for that. We must be doing something exciting. He's not doing this for fun, he's doing it for a reason. So, okay, so we have this note held the whole time, and then we have this. Now at this point, normally it would have gone da 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 da, yeah? It would have done that, and dee da dee dee da 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 da. That's what it would have done normally, but here he decided to do this. Hold, hold, okay? And meanwhile the left hand is holding that. The question is that deliberate for any particular reason, or is he just playing with our mind? I don't know. Now, what the hell is going on here? The pedal's back to its old tricks. And we're off to diminished land here. Well, that's not diminished, it's that kind of stuff. I think we're probably heading to B minor. It feels like we're heading to B minor at this point. So, I think that has to come down to the left hand. So let's do that in the hands. Bum, 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 yeah, that's easy enough. Let's check that with the hands and the feet then. So. So, right foot stays where it is. That's kind of diminished, so that should be easy to remember. Typical Bach. And we're in B minor. Oh, what is it? What is it? Ooh. We've got a turn and sort of trilly thing there. So a turn and a trill. What we're going to do there then, we're going to go... That'll do. And we're back in a new place. So the first modulation took us to D major. And this modulation is taking us to B minor. How are we doing that? Where does he start doing it? After that, D. He's kind of giving us the idea here. We're meandering about. And here we're suddenly in B minor. Yep, that's quite difficult. Ooh, now there's lots going on there, and the hands. Finally, the feet are really easy, but the hands are the difficult part now. 11. Who's number 11? Is Yan Yu. So it was Yan E and Yan Yu. Yan E, Yan Yu. I like the Yans. Can we have a Yan O and a Yan I as well? That would be good. A Yan A. Is there a Yan A? Yana. Maybe there's a Yana out there who wants to chip in. All right, so what the hell's going on here in the B minors? Let's have a go. So there's lots of movement there. Da 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 dee da dee da 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 da. Ooh, now that's a typical Bach feature. We've got notes coming from upwards, dee da da dum, and ba da da dum, all at the same time, and he splits them up like that. Oh, cheeky bugger. Da 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 dum. And then back to where we came from. So dee dee da 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 dee da 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 da. That's quite difficult. And that, there's a link there that isn't in there before. So where do we go here? Ta 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 ti ta tum, ta 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 ti ta tum, ta 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 ti ta tum. Ta. That's easy enough once we get to there. Okie dokie. So all right, and I'm messing up the pedals there, so let's go and do some more of that. That doesn't make sense, but it's what's written. So why doesn't it make sense? We've got da, 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 da. It should. There's that's missing. Weird, man, it's missing. Okay. Let's go from here. Something's not easy in that right hand part. Yeah, because we have to have our thumb on lots of black notes to get where we're going, and that doesn't feel right, so can we do another fingering? We can, but it doesn't feel good either. Thumb on black notes then. That'll do. And there. Pum 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 pum. That's a standard bass line. Don't see why there should be any difficulty there. It's the same as 2 bars before. Pum 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 pum. Okay. Do you notice what's happening now? My concentration is going. Why is my concentration going? Look at the time. It's midnight in this part of the world. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the beginning, play through what I think I've learned, and then leave that part from the B minor part until my brain is fresh as a daisy again. Let's see what happens. I'll leave the microphone on so you get the running commentary and the swears. And after this, it's theatre organ time. I need to calm down. I'm going to leave it there. That B minor part's still not there. It was better though, wasn't it? I was in the concentration mode there. What happens after that? More of the same. So there's nothing new by the looks of it so far. Oh, this is new. That's sight readable. Okay, that's all sight readable up to there. There's no difficulty there. More of our friend coming up. And there's actually written out lines to move. Let's have a look at that. Sight reading. Standard Bach. Oh. Let's look at that. Haha. Not quite. Okay, so what's happening afterwards is not anything new. There's nothing new there, and it's just sort of I'm not going to say standard Bach, but sort of, standard Baroque figures and features. So that's not too bad, actually. So I think a couple of hours would do, and I've got the prelude in G. What do you think? So far so good? Can we continue with this? I'm not going to continue with it now. I'm going to press this button, and then this button, and then that button, and finally get somewhere sensible in my life. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Doable? I think it's definitely doable. It's a relatively melodic piece of music by Bach. You can follow a melody. That's important in my line of work. You know me, I don't do counterpoint very well. I'm not a contrapuntal kind of person. So I think that's maybe why the G major appeals to me, because it's quite sort of melodic. There's a lot going on in, lines in there and things, but they're relatively easy to work out. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun doing it. I did have fun doing that. Thank you for choosing that. That made me sort of concentrate a little bit tonight. Yes, I feel quite good about that. So thank you very much. We had that last week. Let's have some. Here's actually, no, I'm not going to. Actually, yes, we will play that. You might recognize this. This is an old jazz standard from the late 20s. Oh, we're losing Opus 3. Sorry, my friend. It's theatre organ time. Stay around for some jazzy music. This is where I'm in my element now. I'm only going to play one or two tunes because we're late and I need to get to bed. I have a very early start tomorrow morning. That's better. Here's a piece of music from, I can't remember who wrote this. Pollack. Mr. Pollack was one of them. Miss Annabel Lee. Does anyone know who Miss Annabel Lee was? I think we all recognize the melody in the middle. The chorus is the part everybody knows. Everybody recognizes that, but not everybody recognizes the verse. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Annabel Lee. The lovely Miss Annabel Lee. That's going back a long time, isn't it? That tune's almost 100 years old. Can you believe that? All of these tunes are, you know, getting on for 100 years old now. Let's see if we can find something. Can I think of anything? Let me just rush through this and see if I can spot anything that I remember came from 1926. Oh, I don't know. It's difficult. This is from 1926. This is definitely from 1926. See if you recognize this. This will probably be our final number of the evening, folks. Number 12 has joined the old list there. Who was that? Roy! Roy, thank you very much, Roy. Let's see if there was a funny comment on Roy's ticket tonight. Thanks for playing the Bach. All right. I was maybe wondering if there would be a funny comment there tonight, or maybe that was meant in fun. Here's a piece of music from the days gone by. Like I say, it's 100. Yeah, I think we need a sort of this kind of style tonight. This is what we want. And I think we need a spot of that, don't we? I think we do. Actually, let's... We need some different registrations for this. Check this out. The Muskrat Ramble, Kid Ory. Muskrat Ramble. What a cute registration, eh? It sounds a bit like you've got a sort of something in the back of your throat. And then next time we do one of these learning in the background things, we'll do a spot of the theatre organ stuff again. We did one of these not that long ago, and all the kind of stuff you can do in the background. There's a tambourine which reacts to every key I'm playing here, and if I hold a key, the tambourine rattles away like a Parkinson's mad old lady at bingo, you know what I mean? And then I've got other things here. I've actually got these things here. I've got, well, it's called a harp. Check this out. It's a marimba, of course. Here is an actual marimba. It's an octave higher. Here's another one. And here's another one, an octave even higher. And all four of those together it's almost like a sort of a, if I press a certain button, there we are, that one. It's like we're on Jamaica. Isn't that cute? It's like steel drums. Isn't that cute? Anyway, enough. I'm going to bed, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've had a fun Friday evening with me here in the Gartshore gang. I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your tickets, all 12 of you who chipped in. Thank you to all of you who are in the chat. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Yeah. I won't see you tomorrow night. There will be no tuba concert tomorrow night for simple reasons of exhaustion. I hope there will be one next Saturday night. At the very latest in 2 Saturdays, but there won't be one tomorrow night. But we'll be back on Sunday night for Sunday night is organ music night. I hope to see you there. Until then, night night everybody.